We're here with another podcast, and what's funny is we actually recorded two podcasts. It was like a week ago, and it's just the videos just didn't work. So unfortunately, I think we spent like 2.5 hours on those two or something like that.
Yeah,
they were pretty long.
Those two.
They were pretty long, so we're gonna do actually shorter versions this time around. And this first book we're gonna go over is called "You Are the Placebo." We only got 4 notes, so Scott's just gonna read right through them, and then we're just gonna kind of just summarize everything and just bring it all together. All right, so Scotty, whenever you're ready, you just roll through.
Sure thing. All right, so You Are the Placebo, take 2.
Yes.
Take 2, the remix. Okay, so 8 out of 10 before we start. Always give the Jack Stack score, so kind of average, good but not exceptional. I think, Jack, there was a reason that you gave last time that you...
Let me touch on that, yeah. Let me touch on that for a second. So it's 8 out of 10 because I don't really have any, like, illnesses in my life, right? Like, I don't have any, like, that's a good look for the podcast. We got a little riffraff. He's got, like, orange eyes. That's pretty crazy. But it's like one of those books where, like, if I was going through like some sort of illness, or if I was older and like had some like serious problems, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 because it would be like I would resonate with it so much deeper because it can actually like help me in a very deep way.
Yeah.
But since I'm like on the younger side, 34, and like my health is pretty good generally, I don't really I can't really use it to my advantage. So that's the only reason I give it an 8 out of 10. Otherwise, like if you're watching this, or like you have a loved one in your life that has health issues or something like that, recommend this book to them because it could literally be life changing. It's really powerful.
Yeah, I think probably more powerful for people like myself, actually.
Yes.
Anyone who suffers from either a variety of health issues and or health anxieties. This is probably a little bit more important. I think I'll tick the box fairly well for both of those, to be quite honest.
Yes. That's why I told you, like, during our first failed podcast, you got to read this. You got to pick this one up.
Yeah,
you got to pick this one up.
Got to get around to reading the full book. I've listened to the notes, but I need to get around to the full book. Right.
Yeah.
With that in mind, let's go through the bullet points and see what we can take away from it. So, point A, the human mind is capable of doing so much more than we think. And I'll just blast through all 4 here and then we'll have an open discussion about it. So, the human mind is capable of doing so much more than we think. Point B, your beliefs shape your entire life and are so powerful that they can even cure serious illnesses. Point C, mental rehearsing is thinking and feeling yourself in a future reality you want to manifest in the present moment. Your brain neurons change and you can attract what you want in your life easily this way. Point D was you don't try or force yourself to be the placebo, you simply allow it to happen. So, touching upon point A being by far the most important, I think it's a very broad point, but one that is often ignored, is that the human mind is capable of doing so much more than we think. I mean, is there anything more powerful on planet Earth than the human brain? The answer is probably not, right? I mean, it's the reason we're the top of the food chain. It's the reason we're sat in houses and we have domesticated animals and stuff. We literally took over the planet because the human brain is such a powerful organ. And I think it's very easy to forget sometimes just the immense extent to which we can push our brains. And when you see people sort of solving like previously thought unsolvable math problems, or like, we put a man on the moon, this kind of stuff, you realize like actually, the human brain is capable of just an immense amount of stuff. And I remember that we talked about in this last podcast was the power of positivity when you're not well. And I think we touched upon, it's not, because for someone like myself, this has obviously come up in previous podcasts, for someone like myself, I struggle a little bit with spirituality, and I think we've described it before as like woo-woo stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm more of like a skeptical, logical type of person. However, there is just reams and reams of science that actually backs up what's being said here. Is that positivity is not just like it's not like, oh, I think I'll be better, so I'll be better. It's like your immune system responds to the positive chemicals your body releases when you're happy, right? So it's like oxytocin and endorphins, and these things are released when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling positive, and these actually aid your immune system, right? I'm guessing that's a lot of what is meant by that first point there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just crazy, like how the brain works. Like we don't really understand it. Like we're not scientists and shit, you know. I'm not a fucking scientist. Scott's not a scientist. We don't really understand exactly how, like, you know, with the terms, like how everything works. But all I know is, like, you know, it's a funny story actually. Was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. So this is something I never thought I was capable of doing ever. Yeah. I went on a 24-hour fast without even like feeling it that much. Like I felt it a little bit towards the end, but it was like, I remember I always had this belief that I was like, if I don't eat like every 4 or 5 hours, I'm panicking. I literally panic. I have like really strong anxiety that comes about when I don't eat. And I used to be the way where like I would have to wake up in the morning and eat first thing. You know, first thing, like 10 a.m. or something, on whatever I wake up, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., whatever, I would eat. And I was like, anytime I went, like, you know, sometimes we have those coachings in the morning. So when I had the coachings in the morning and I didn't eat before then, I would feel like really lightheaded and woozy and like anxious and like, but then like all of a sudden, like now I do intermittent fasting like regularly. So I eat at 2 p.m. as my first meal of the day. And I don't feel that way at all. And this is something I was like, wait, maybe I trained my brain not to feel this way. And then on Sunday, I did the first time ever, I did a 24-hour fast. And I was just like, just relaxed into it. And I wasn't panicking and like, it was okay. And I found that to be really, really interesting. Because in the past, I never thought I could do that. And the book is not about this at all. But I'm just saying this as a point to like how powerful, you know, the brain is. Like as far as the book goes, it goes into like, you know, serious illnesses. Like for example, I read this book a few months ago, so I don't remember the exact illnesses, but some of them are like, you know, in doctoral terms, they're called like irreversible. Like it's impossible to get over these illnesses. Apparently, you know, when the doctors say like just like chronic arthritis and chronic, like all these kind of chronic illnesses that people were able to overcome just from feeling themselves in a situation where they're like in their like they feel the pain. Let's say, for example, you're a human with a lot of pain. Let's say, let's just use you for an example, Scott. You're an easy example to use since it's just you and I on the call. Let's say, like, let's just use your hip issues as an example. So you have like all this hip pain, right? You have hip pain.
Certainly do, yeah. Both hips, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you have like arthritis in your hips, right? And you feel it, and you're just like, ah, God, this feels fucking weird. I got arthritis, you know, all this. And then what you do is you take yourself to a time where either like you didn't feel that pain and how good that felt, and you allow yourself to feel those emotions and bring those emotions up, or you allow yourself to go into a future where hip pain is not a part of your life, and you feel how that feels and the emotions and like your physiology and how you would feel, how you would act, and like you let that sink into yourself. It's like a daily practice or something it talks about in this book. And eventually what happens is that like you almost like, I don't want to say fool, but kind of, you almost like fool your brain into thinking, you know what, I'm healthy and I don't have hip arthritis. I'm this version of myself in the future where I've, you know, convinced myself that I feel good, my hips feel good. And it's funny, and like, you would think it's crazy, and doctors will tell you this is crazy too, but there's been countless cases of people that cure themselves of these illnesses just from thinking themselves out of it, which is crazy, 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 crazy to think about, that it's possible for that to happen. But he's got so many cases. Like in the book, he talks about so many different cases, and everyone that he's worked with, and like that have just cured themselves of their illnesses just by the power of like belief and the power of like feeling whatever you want in a given moment. For example, I'll give you another example of this, not with illnesses, Scott. Let's say right now, like, how's your mood right now? Let's say from like 1 to 10.
Maybe like a 6.
Okay, 6. That's perfect. That's actually perfect for this example. 6. Okay, so do you believe that in an instant you can feel a 10, like with a snap? No. Okay. All right. So, all right. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. What's something in your life that makes you extremely happy? Like if something like just like if a certain something happened that you'd be like, wow, I am thrilled with happiness if this happened.
Give me a second.
Yeah, take a second. Just think about it. Something that's like, it could be something as simple as like your favorite soccer team, winning the trophy or whatever they call it in soccer.
Yeah. I mean, like one of my favorite things is like when like Duckers, for example, when she has like yearly checkups, like yearly cancer checkups.
Right.
And when Duckers gets the result back and it's like all clear, like no issues, that's one thing where I'm just like instantly buzzing. I'm just like, yes, that is superb news.
Okay.
Like
so
I'm going to be
really happy.
Yeah. Or like when I take my cat to the vet and the vet says your cat is absolutely fine, don't worry about it. Like like my mood is like sky high.
Okay. So that's like, what is that feeling like? Like what are you focusing on at that time during that moment? What are you focusing on exactly?
I don't even know if I'm really focusing on anything at that moment. Like I'm just like soaking in the news. Like I'm just like, yeah.
Well, that's what you're focusing on. You're soaking in the news, so you're focusing on the good news.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're focusing on the good news.
Much,
is that fair to say? Okay, so you're focusing on the good news, and you're focusing also like, what about your physiology? Like, are you just more relaxed and like just like, or how do you like?
I can't say that I've ever really like taken notes. I don't ever like take stock of how I'm feeling in that moment, but I would say like, from a physiological point of view, I feel relaxed, like my breathing is slow, my heart rate is like nice and stable. I'm just like, I'm not feeling hot or anything. Like I'm just, feeling pretty good for that moment right there.
Okay. What about like your language? Like it's like what kind of language like do you use in your mind at that time? Are you just like, oh, that was great, like shit, that's so good, like?
Yeah, or just like the English alternatives, which would be like, fucking get in, come on.
Yeah, fucking get in, do it, fucking get in.
Go on, son. That's like
one time. Okay, so like, here's the thing. Like, it's funny. He talks about this in the Tony Robbins seminar. It's like, there's 3 things that can make you change how you feel in an instant. Focus, okay? Focus, physiology, and language. So it's only 3 things, and you can change how you feel in an instant. So if you're focusing on something positive, let's say you're focusing on a situation where, you get to the vet and they tell you your cats are good. Let's say you're focused on that now. You laser sharp focus on that. So you're focused, okay? You focus on something, positive. Your physiology, so you treat your body like you get into that relaxed state, or let's say when you win a soccer game, your physiology, you could be like, yes, like fucking get it, let's,
Yeah.
And your language, fucking get it. Or like you're just like, yes, like something incredible just happened or something like that. If you have all those 3 things going for you, you're gonna feel good. There's no way that you cannot feel good in that instant, right? So if you actually do that, I don't know if you actually like put yourself into that moment, like visually. If you actually took yourself there, you would start to feel a 10. But I don't know if you did that there. You would have to actually sit down. For example, like right now it's hard because we're conversating. But you would actually have to sit down and like take yourself to a place where you're focusing on something very positive. Your physiology is very relaxed. You're like, oh, this feels good. And then your language is very positive as well. Fucking get it. Like whatever you want to say in your language, you're just like, this is great. Well, whatever you're thinking in your mind, you're
Mm-hmm.
immediately going to go somewhere very good, right? You're
Okay.
just going to instantly just start feeling good. You know, you got to try that. You got to try that on your free time.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing is
Are you still a 6 right now, by the way? Like, would you say?
yeah, maybe like a 6.5 just after those
Okay.
mentions, just maybe dragged it up a tiny bit. Yeah, but like
Okay.
it's tough. Like I struggle to be like in that good a mood if I've had like interrupted night of sleep, which I had last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like a vet emergency, and then that just takes my mood. Like it does the complete opposite. Like, you know, health issue for the cat, like down goes that mood, and then I struggle to sort of save it for the day.
I want to try something here, if you're open to it. All right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Here, all right.
Yep.
Let's say, for example, you know, you feel really good when you're drunk, right?
Exceptional.
Let's
Never
say,
bad.
Let's say you're drunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just think about you're drinking with your friends. Let's say you're drunk with your friends. Just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not there. You know, you're over here talking with me. But let's say you're drinking with your friends, right? You've been yourself drinking with your friends, and you just like you're at a bar. And like your soccer team just won, right? Your soccer team just won. You're with your boys, right?
I like where this is headed. Yeah.
Okay, your soccer team just won. You're with your boys, and you're walking to a different bar now, just to like the
Yeah.
second bar, just to fucking have more drinks or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
If you're willing to, I want you to just stand up and like show me how you would walk to that next bar. Your soccer team just won, and you're already drunk. Just like imagine yourself drunk, just like walking to the next bar. You're just like
It's just like a normal walk for once instead of like limping.
So how would you do it? Like just like walk as if that actually happened. Like how would it be?
Well, I'm probably talking to them.
So don't say anything. Just like, you know, move your mouth, act like you're talking, but don't actually say anything.
Yeah. All right. So I'm walking along
You got a little swag.
looking up at my friends, like talking to my friends, and they're all taller than me, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm looking up. Yeah, I suppose I'm probably strutting a little bit, like
You're like strutting, you're feeling good. Okay.
Not limping. Yeah, I'm probably peacocking a little bit, like I'm feeling pretty fresh.
All right.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, but like you can't
Along those lines.
Do you think that's exactly how you would do it? What you just did right there, or are you like?
I think
taming it a little
probably
bit?
yeah. Like I'm probably like leaning back and like probably bopping a little bit. Yeah, I'd say so.
Like limping around, like life is good. Let's go get this next drink.
Strutting along. Yeah, I'm not in any pain at this point because like alcohol's the best anesthetic. Like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you feel any different, like why you did that, or like a little bit, or not at all?
Maybe a little bit. I was laughing just because, like, you know, just thinking of the situation is nice. It's a very rare occasion that you get to do.
Yeah.
That your football team wins and you're out drunk with your friends, strutting around, peacocking. So yeah, maybe smile there.
Okay.
Maybe feel a little bit better.
So where are you at now? Like from 1 to 10, are you still at 6.5 or 6?
Yeah, it's like a bit north of 6.5. Maybe feel a bit better than when I did at the start of the conversation. So it's like redirected my focus away from the negative thing that happened today towards like a more positive thing.
But like, do you find your brain just kind of still like, hey, buddy, that negative thing still happens, so don't try to be too happy. Like, do you have that?
Yeah, that's like a very pervasive thing in my head. Like I have like so much trouble with. We've talked about this on loads of podcasts before, but obviously, you know, I have lots of trouble with like rumination and intrusive thoughts. So, like what I find that my brain does often. I say my brain does it. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like I do it, my brain does. I can't really tell you.
I like that you said that because that is true. Your brain is separate from
you,
like because you're not in control of what your brain does sometimes. So
yeah, I guess
it's
like
a
the
separate
untethered soul. Yeah, so my brain will sometimes do like a kind of reality check, like, and this is a really like sad way for your brain to operate. But sometimes my brain will do a quick scan of bad things. It will be like, hang on a minute, like what have I got to worry about? And it will like quickly, and then it's like something that is concerning me, and then that will come up, and then that will now be my focus, and I'll ruminate. So like this morning I booked my cat into the vet. So my cat had a problem. We're like, okay, we'll book her in, get some sleep. We'll just take her later. Fine. We'll just deal with it. It'll be okay. And then my brain just does a quick scan of like, what else do I need to worry about? And then my brain just jumps to another thing that I was worried about. And then that's it. I was ruminating about that. I couldn't sleep.
Right. So you have a hard time getting into the present moment then. That's probably one of your biggest challenges is like just
I'd
turning
say
the switch
so,
off. Or like maybe there's something holding you back from even wanting to turn that switch off. You're like, wait, if I don't worry about this, then maybe it won't, something bad will happen if I stop worrying about this. You know what I mean? Like some kind of belief like that, which is kind of interesting because you have to train a brain is a muscle. You got to train it. And I can relate to a lot of these things like in my past as well, where I was trained to think about or worry just a lot. Worry a lot about shit and like, but then like it's funny, like we talk about the spiritual woo woo wah wah, but that's what kind of, I don't want to say cured, like that's what treated me to like start to become more present and like allow myself to shut that brain off more often than not. And that's what I mean, not to say that I'm perfect at that, obviously I'm not, but I'm just saying like it allowed me to kind of be like, you know what, I don't necessarily have to worry about things. I can just like kind of be more in the present moment, or like even when I catch myself worrying about things, I'll catch it and then like I'll try to reframe it into something, positive or something that I'm grateful for, because, if you want to think about what's wrong in your life, I'm talking to like everyone, like, including myself, and everyone listening. If you want to worry about what's wrong in your life, there's always going to be something there to worry about. Always. Even if you have nothing, you'll be like, oh man, but what if I have a heart attack out of the sky? What if my fucking, what if I get sick tomorrow? So like, there's always something to worry about. It's never ending. But also you can focus on that end of the spectrum. But you can also focus on what's right in your life and all the positive things and all the great things that you have in your life. Let's say, for you, for example, your cats, your wife, your kids, poker. It's just like it just seems like so many positive things are going on, but you don't tend to focus on those. You're just kind of ruminating on the bad. So that's something that the brain has to be trained out of, and you have to kind of train. You have to train your own brain to stop focusing on this end and start focusing on things on this end. And that's not something like you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, all right, that's it, I'm only focusing on things. But like it's like something that takes months and years of like meditation and training and mental processes and reading books on presence and meditating to get more presence in your life, to be able to let go of things like that. But all right, so we're back here. I had a little knock on the door, had a TV delivery there. But all right, so now we're back, and let's do a little recap. Let's just pull this book together in as few sentences as possible. What is this book about?